Peace be with you. My name is Allan Keislar, and I'm very happy because I'm thinking about self-sufficient villages. This is my meditation because this is the salvation of humanity. I am convinced that, of course, the salvation of humanity is in the names of God, singing and chanting, calling on the names of God, but especially in the context of self-sufficient village communities, where people live together as members of one family, loving, helping each other, being kind, and this is essential. Humanity is facing a very, very difficult period right now, very dangerous, very trying time, in which deceit is rampant, and it's almost impossible to figure out what is really the truth. There's so much disinformation. But if we meditate on how to develop and promote self-sufficient village communities and work very diligently, very intelligently, how to come together and work together, and especially grow our own food so that we're independent of the satanic forces that are trying to gain total control of all of humanity. We can be successful in our spiritual pursuit. And that's the real purpose of human life, is to attain spiritual perfection. And that spiritual perfection comes especially by calling on the names of God. That is the most powerful force for morality, for truth, and for love. So music, when it is spiritual music, calling on the names of God especially, and even more powerful, actually, this is what we've been told, even more powerful than calling on the names of God is calling on the names of the pure servants of God. But spiritual music is a very, very powerful force. It's not bad. It's very, very good. The best thing. Calling on the names of God, singing the names of God and the names of the great pure servants of God. That is the most powerful force for truth, the most powerful force for goodness, the most powerful force for love and justice and morality. And just the opposite, immoral music, non-spiritual music, materialistic music, is a very, very powerful force for destruction of humanity, for promoting immorality, for promoting deceit and deception, and for promoting hatred and division. So I'm always thinking about these self-sufficient village communities which we must promote, where people will come together. In a village, people know each other, everybody knows each other, and we can work together, help each other, protect each other, promote our own and our neighbors' and our family members' well-being. So that's what I've been thinking about, especially these days. How we can come together, sing the names, glorify the names of God and the great servants of God together, and in that way feel our oneness. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to chant the names of God a little bit, and then we will have questions and answers. And names of God means, some people think only the names of God in my religion or my language should be used. No. The names of God from all languages, all religions, all traditions, even from other planets. So I regularly chant 5 names of God. There are millions of billions of trillions of names of God. We can't count them all. Because there are millions and billions and trillions of planets where there are people who are glorifying God. They all have their own languages. Not all have their own languages, but there are millions and billions of different languages. And so we should never think that names of God should be restricted only to my religion's names of God. That is an immature idea. So there are 5 names of God that I especially chant. They are Allah, Toeni, Adonai, Ram, and Ik Omkar. So we will briefly call on those names of God. If you wish, you can join me. You don't have to, but this is what I do. But whatever you do, I beg you, please recite the names of God, whichever names of God appeal to you and you feel the presence of God in them. Very, very powerful, most powerful. Allahu, 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 Allahu. Toini, 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 toini. Adonai, 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 Adonai. Adonai, 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 Adonai. Ram, 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 Ram. Hic Omkar, Hic Omkar, Hic Omkar, Hic Omkar. 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 All right, let us see what questions or comments anyone may have. Sayyid Yusuf Ali says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Ab para Islam Abad se. Acha. So Sayyid Yusuf Ali is saying, peace be with you, sir, from Ab Para in Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan. Peace to you too, Sayyid Yusuf Ali Sahib. And he goes on, Assalamu alaikum, sir, for Ocha. He's now writing it in English. Thank you. And Muhammad Hamza says, today is Black Day. Okay, please explain. Khan Shoaib Alam Sarawani says, love you, brother. I love you too. Love is the most powerful force. Love is the original. Love is the original power of God. The first emanation, you can say, of God is love. So love is most important. Amnaranda says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Peace be to you too. Muhammad Hamza says, on recent Friday, Israel attacked Palestine peoples when they were praying namaz in Aqsa Mosque. Today is big shame for all Muslims, as we're not able to protect our brothers from radical Jews. Well, this period of time that we're living in right now, I am convinced this is that what shall we say, the last days of the last days. We are now entering the final stage of the old age of hatred, the old age of division, the old age of hypocrisy, the old age of deceit. That age, which has gone on for the past thousands of years, is now ending with this most desperate, despicable time. And I don't know how many years this will last. This has been predicted, prophesied in all the scriptures, this time. The tribulation, it is called in the Bible, the Great Tribulation. Some people say it would last 2.5 years, 5 years, 7 years, not too long. But definitely we're now entering that final period of despair, destruction, deceit especially, disinformation. So we should expect horrible things to be happening, but if we remain in our self-sufficient village communities, growing our own food, then we can be protected from all of that. Otherwise, it's going to be more and more difficult to remain free from all of that horrible satanic influence. Okay, Burak Chaudhary says, how can I join you in your official page? Please reply. Here you are. You can join me here. You can say anything you want. I will try to reply if you have any question. Tasneem Tahir, Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you, sir? I am actually, my health is fair, but I'm very, very happy because I can join you and think about, meditate on self-sufficient village communities and how we can establish, especially, I have been told, in Pakistan, in every district, such a village must be established if Pakistan is to succeed in its mission. And indeed, all over the world, wherever people want to actually come together in a place where they can live peacefully and protect themselves from the onslaughts of this satanic age, this apex of the satanic age, then ideal place is self-sufficient village communities. So I live in a small town, village, you can say, a few thousand people live here, and it's easy for us to grow our own food because there's so much farmland everywhere around here. So I'm in a very, very happy place. I consider this a very, very fortunate place where I'm living. It is a rural area, not even an incorporated town, just a small place where people love each other, people care for each other. So I'm begging everyone, please promote self-sufficient village communities wherever you are, and this will be a very powerful barrier against the onslaught of the satanic forces, the forces of deceit, the forces of Dajjal, at this critical time in human history. Okay, Tasneen Tahir also says, Assalamu alaikum, how are you, sir? Oh, that's what I just read, sorry. So I'm very, very happy. Rihan Amanullah says, Salam Babaji, salam to you too. Muhammad Hamza says, we cannot say that we should produce good relationship with the Israeli and mostly radical Jews. How can we produce good relationship with the murderer of our brothers and sisters? We should give them the same answer as they want. War. We should war. How can peace will be produced when they are? Well, this is a very interesting comment you have made, but you have not understood the teachings of any religion. And the Buddhist teaching is the clearest. Buddha, he was a great sage and saint and prophet of God. He was not a pagan. He was not an idolater. He was not a barbarian. He was a highly cultivated spiritual personality. And he explained that if you attack, you will be attacked. If you win a war, you will also be the loser, because then your enemies will retaliate. They will gather their force. So war will go on and on and on without end. The only solution is peace. And how can we have peace when we are attacked? By developing our self-sufficient village communities where we all live together in love and peace, and we don't depend on anything outside. Of course, self-defense is required, but I don't agree with your idea that we must attack and give war to those people. No, we defend ourselves. We don't want war. We want peace. And there will be war. There is war going on all over the world. There is war, and it is increasing because the satanic forces are trying to control the entire world. So they're becoming more and more active now. These are those last days, the apex of the World War III. World War III has been transformed. It was going to be a nuclear war. It was going to be a worldwide nuclear holocaust. But I've explained many times that that war was, that long-predicted war, it was not false. It was the Armageddon, or whatever you want to call it, that final war. That was predicted. In every tradition, they talk about a great final war of tremendous destruction. So that war was going to be a nuclear war. Now it has been transformed by the mercy of God. And the war will be won by love, not by weapons. The war will be won, especially, as I've explained many times, This is what I've been told. You may or may not believe it. That's okay. But the war will be won when the Muslims and the Sikhs in Pakistan, in the Punjab especially, come together in love. That will change the atmosphere. The love, especially between former enemies, as Jesus Christ taught, love your enemies. He said, even love your enemies. So formerly, Christians and Muslims were enemies. Jews and Muslims were enemies. Muslims and Hindus were enemies. And especially Muslims and Sikhs were enemies for hundreds of years. But now, and it is happening already, when the Muslims and Sikhs in Pakistan come together in love and friendship and brotherhood and sisterhood, all together, coming together as members of one family, because we're all members of one family. We're all children of Adam and Eve. You can say we're all members of one family. So when we come together, especially the Muslims and Sikhs in Pakistan, that will be the signal of world peace. That will be the transformation of Armageddon from a war of destruction to a war of love. And those who are most loving, of course, I don't say military should not be there. There must be defense. But the love between the Sikhs is what is going to win the Ghazwa-e-Hind, this long-predicted Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, clearly talked about Ghazwa-e-Hind. So this war of India will be won when the Muslims and Sikhs in the Punjab come together in love, and then the people of India are astonished and see, oh, these people love each other, now they love each other. We want to be part of that love too. And they will willingly, eagerly join with Pakistan Khalistan. They want, they call it Akhand Bharat, undivided India. They don't know. Undivided India means Pakistan Khalistan. And so when the Indians join Pakistan Khalistan, the land of the pure, then the whole world will follow. And this will be the conquest of love over hatred. This will be the conquest of truth over deceit. So don't worry. Don't think if your brothers and sisters were murdered, then you have to retaliate by murdering as many of the others. No. What you have to do, and I've said this not once or twice, tens or hundreds of times, I have said, just like the Muslims and Sikhs in Pakistan, especially in Kartarpur, come together and worship God together. That's the important thing, praying together and glorifying God together. When the Muslims and Jews in the Masjid al-Aqsa come together and pray together, that's what's important, praying together, then the whole world will be transformed. War will be ended and peace will come. But this is a very, very difficult time right now we're in. So don't think wrongly. Don't think hatred and killing and murder and war will solve the problems. That never has solved any problems. War never solves problems. War begets more war. That's what Buddha taught. And it's true. When has war ended war? War always creates more war. It is love and peace, and especially coming together and glorifying God together, praying together. That is what ends war. That is what brings peace and love. And that is also predicted. That will happen. There will be world peace. And the method of world peace is especially when people come together and glorify God together, praising the names of God and the great servants of God. That is the solution to all the world, not war. Okay. Rana Usman says, Corona is plandemic, not pandemic. आपका इस बारे क्या ख्याल है? बिल्कुल सही बात है. ये जो हमें बताया जा रहा है इसके बारे में झूठी बातें हैं, 100% झूठी बातें. लेकिन अगर मैं उसके बारे में ज़्यादा बात करता हूँ तो मेरे फेसबुक बंद किया जाएगा. लेकिन आप खुद रिसर्च करें, आपको पता चल जाएगा. दुआ करें, अल्लाह पाक से मांगे हमें हिदायत दे, और आपको मालूम हो जाएगा कि हाँ, ये एक बड़ी झूठी बात है सब. Muhammad Hamza, Israel had done the biggest attracted on Aqsa Mosque in history. Big shame on all Muslims. So I've explained this just in the last few minutes, and I will repeat. Don't think the wrong way. These are attempts by the satanic forces to create a world war. They want a world war, and especially between Muslims and Jews and Christians. They want the Western world to think that the Islamic world is a danger, an enemy, and terrorists and horrible, and they will try to create and aggravate you, make you angry so you will become foolish and fight blindly. No. Don't fall for that plot. Pray, and pray together. And especially make self-sufficient village communities where people of all religions will come together and glorify God together. That's the only solution. Don't be foolish and think now we must retaliate by killing all the Jews in Jerusalem. You think that will solve the problems? No. That will make it worse. That's just what they want you to do. They want you to start being, especially terrorist acts, and then they can blame the whole Muslim world, and then they can get the whole innocent Western people to, they've already been doing it for many years, but get the Western people to be afraid of Islam and hate Islam, and then they can create a world war. That's what they want. So don't fall for their tricks. Sabahat Arshad says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Hope you, yes, thank you. I am okay. Rana Usman, Corona is, he's repeating the same question I already answered. Muhammad Habza says, oh, Muhammad, we ask help from you. Oh, Allah, help Palestine peoples, protect your mosque. Yes, that is right. We pray. We ask for the help of Allah, and He gives us guidance. And His guidance is not foolishness. His guidance is not terrorism. His guidance is intelligent work together, glorifying God together in unity, in love, in harmony. Even Muslims and Jews can come together and worship God, because Muslims and Jews worship the same God, not two different gods, right? Everybody knows that. Even Christians know. In Arabic, the Christians in Arabic countries, they say Allah. They use the name Allah for the name of God. So the name of Allah, whether it is in Arabic or whether it is in Hebrew also, Adonai, that is name of God, is the same God. So why can't Muslims and Jews come together and worship together? Not kill each other in Aqsa, in the Masjid al-Aqsa, not kill each other in the Dome of the Rock, but come together and pray together. Glorify God together. That will be how we can get help from Allah, if we, with our intelligence and determination, we promote that program. You can say that's the village community in Jerusalem, when the Muslims and Jews and Christians and others also, but especially when the Muslims and Jews come together and pray together in Masjid al-Aqsa. I've been saying this for several years now, a couple of years ago at least, I think. This is the solution, praying together. Kaleem Khan says, Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Wa alaikum salam. Kaleem Khan Sahib, I love these Khans. The Khans have a special role to play also in the salvation of the world. You know that? Khans are very powerful. The Pashtun tribe, not tribe, the Pashtun nation, is a very, very powerful spiritual force in Pakistan and in the world. So let us work together, not seeing that our differences make us separate and against each other, but seeing that our differences make us beautiful when we come together in love. Okay, Rahila Abbasi says, most people don't believe that anything is going to happen, so they don't become willing to plan for such village. You're right. You're exactly right. That's the whole problem. People don't know what's going to happen, but soon everyone will know. Soon it will become more and more obvious. Something horrible is going to happen. The whole world is going to be on fire. But if we have our self-sufficient village communities, then we will be protected. That is the best place. Okay, Rana Usman says, again he's repeating. Muhammad Hamza says, we all Muslims should also make our Palestine people self-sufficient. Oh, very wonderful. Yes, in Palestine also, the people must establish their self-sufficient communities where they grow their own food. Um, Even Jews and Muslims together can be in loving communities, self-sufficient villages. That's the solution. Muslims and Jews praying together, having your villages where the Muslims and Jews pray together. That's the solution. Glorifying the names of God together. Okay, Amnarandwa says, and when love speaks, the voice of all the God makes heaven drowsy with the harmony, by Shakespeare. Yes, love is the solution. Love is more powerful than hate. Love is more powerful than fear. Love is more powerful than deceit. Love brings truth and justice. So let us love. Let us be loving. Love is the most powerful force. Love in the name of God. That is more powerful than any weapons of atomic bombs or laser weapons. Okay, Hafiz Abdul Manan Majid says, Assalamu alaikum Babaji, wa alaikum salam. Sahib Rahil Abbasi says, why Buddhists do not worship any god? Is this Buddha taught them, or originally it was one god worship? Okay, this is a very good question and a very, very long answer, but I will make a very quick answer. The Buddha did not talk about God very much. He did very slightly indirectly talk about an original source of everything, but he didn't talk about it very much. Why? Because people were misusing religion. They were misusing scripture. They were misusing the ideas of God. People were being enslaved by the priests by misuse of religion and by misuse of God. So Buddha simply taught, be kind, be loving, be peaceful, be happy, be serving, don't harm anyone. Ahimsa, I mean, don't harm anyone, even animals, even plants. That was his teaching. Be kind and loving. And he didn't talk about God, especially because the priests at that time, the Brahmins, had so misused the name of God and the name of religion and the scriptures that they had become harmful. They were being misused, so he didn't get into that. That's my understanding why he didn't. Okay, Muhammad Hamza, Israel has started war and all the great Muslim leaders are showing so could peace and ignoring blood of our brothers. Anyway, I don't need to repeat what I've already said, that it is coming together in love, coming together in prayer and glorifying God together that will solve the problem, not war. War, more hatred, more destruction. Now is not the time to fight. Now is the time to pray. Now is not the time to hate. Now is the time to love. And especially two places, well, three places actually, especially in Pakistan, especially in Khalistan, especially in Kartarpur, and especially in Jerusalem. So in Kartarpur, the Muslims and Sikhs have already come together in love. You know, Muslims and Sikhs were hated enemies for hundreds of years, right? Political enemies, military enemies. Now they're come together. Look in Kartarpur. This Kartarpur, when it opened on November 9th, 2019, Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, appeared to me and he said, this is our first great victory in the Ghazwa-e-Hind and the culmination of Armageddon and the sign of world peace. So that is the first place, Kartarpur. And then Jerusalem, when the Muslims and Jews come together, and Christians also, like the Muslims and Sikhs have come together in Kartarpur, that will also be the sign of world peace and the culmination of Armageddon and our first great victory in this final battle. And I have been told in the United States of America, especially in the southeastern states, especially in Alabama, the Muslims and the Jews, the whites and the blacks, all people come together and glorify God together because there's only one God of everyone. So when deceit is set aside, because that's the main factor in the world today is deceit. That is what Dajjal does. He deceives people. So satanic forces are promoting deceit and war and hatred. But when the truth is promoted, which comes through coming together in love and glorifying God together, then what happens? War is defeated by love. So I'm just repeating this again and again, because you keep repeating, Muhammad Hamza Sahib, you don't know. You are falling for the trap of the satanic forces to try to create a war, especially between Islam and the West. That's their plan. So they're trying to get you all riled up to make terrorist acts against those. They're satanic, certainly, but the terrorist acts are not the solution. War is not the solution. Coming together with the sincere Jews and worshiping God together, glorifying the name of God together, especially in the Masjid al-Aqsa, this is an opportunity to do that. Then that will end war. Okay, Muhammad Naeem says, dear sir, good evening. Can you predict that when the time this corona will be over and people will live a normal life? As long as the satanic forces have not gained complete control over the world, they will keep promoting corona. When they gain control over the whole world, then they may let it up. But this is all a pandemic by the satanic forces, and they will not let it up until they gain. Their plan is to gain total control over the world. This is part of that plan. So they won't let it end until they have succeeded in gaining complete control. That's why it's better to be in self-sufficient village communities where we won't have to worry about anything from outside the village. Grow our own food, have our own loving community where we work together and we don't have to get anything from the outside. That is the way to escape from this corona. This is the way to escape from everything that is bad and false and deceitful. So it will never end until the satanic forces are defeated, because this is their method to try to gain total control over the world. Amnaranda says, if music be the food of love, then play on Shakespeare. Yes, music is the food of love. Music is the language of the soul. Spiritual music. And this material music, immoral music, that is very, very dangerous. It is destructive of true humanity. Morality is the heart of true humanity. And immoral music is a very, very powerful force to destroy true humanity. True humanity depends upon families, love, within the family, between the husband and wife, between the parents and the children. That is the foundation of self-sufficient village communities. That is the foundation of human society. So there must be love. And music is a very, very powerful force to promote love. Spiritual music promotes love between people of different religions. When Muslims and Jews come together in Masjid al-Aqsa and are crying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, together, Muslims and Jews praying like that together, what will happen? Love will be born between them, and the hatred will be finished, and the war will be ended. So music is the power. Music is a great, great, great power. Spiritual music, especially glorifying the names of God. Okay, now I have to go on because two reasons. One, I'm scheduled to have a live YouTube chat now, but also today I'm going to my mother-in-law's house. She passed away a year and a half ago, and now we are emptying out all the house so that it is going to be sold. So we have to go down and help my sister-in-law continue this we've been doing for some time, but we're going down today, so we want to go as early as we can this morning. So I have to end shortly, but I will just quickly answer one or two questions. Muhammad Hamza says, Prophet Muhammad had also done war against radical Jews. He won by the grace of God. Yes, he had to defend. That's true, not only against radical Jews, but against the Quraysh also, against everyone who attacked, he attacked. Quran teaches war in defense, self-defense, never aggressive war. That is not the Islamic teaching, although many may think so. But in order to defend oneself, one may fight. That is the teaching of the not only Quran. This is called just war in Christian theology. War is permitted in defense, self-defense, but not as an instrument of aggression. That's forbidden in every religion. Muhammad Naeem says, "Dear sir, did you take corona injection?" No, and I never will. Nobody knows what will happen by taking this injection. They can't know because there hasn't been time to know. It takes years to see what the results will be of it. So I'm not going to be a guinea pig and let somebody give me an injection. You know, in America, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, has to approve these things usually. But it takes years to get approval. First they do animal tests, then they can do human tests on a small population, and then they can make it approved for the greater population. But the animal tests that they've done on this sort of so-called vaccine, this mRNA, it's actually janine, it's actually a genetic experiment, you can say. It is actually not a vaccine as we usually think of vaccines. It's a new system of injecting messenger RNA, which goes into the cells and produces their own proteins, which is not natural. So they did animal tests and they failed. They couldn't. Many animals died. They couldn't succeed in making a successful mRNA vaccine. So what did they do? They wanted everyone to take it, so they said, okay, we cannot approve it because we don't have there are rules what has to be done. All these tests have to be done before it can be approved. So they did not approve it, but they said, in this emergency, it can be authorized. Did you know that? The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration in America, has not approved of this so-called corona vaccine. It has only been, in an emergency, been authorized. They can't approve it. So who is going to be so foolish as to accept an injection which they don't even know the long-term results of it? So I'm not going to be so foolish. Don't be afraid. Amna Ranwa says, sir, in other words, we can also say that love is also a key of success. Yes, love is the key of success. Komaluna says, Zayed Hamid should also come live on Facebook, sir. So I hope he does. I didn't know that he did or didn't, but yes, he should. I agree. You can and convince him to. Jawaria Ayaz said, what happened to your claim of martial law in America by Trump? Well, what I said at that time was it doesn't matter. I did say that was the plan. I believe that was the plan. But I say at that time, if you go back and review my other videos, I immediately ended, or when I ended that Facebook live chat I had in which I said that, then I immediately heard a voice, the voice of God, I believe, and said, it doesn't matter whether Biden becomes the president or not. Of course, we all know that he didn't win the election. That was all a fraud. Of course, we can't say that, or they may take us off Facebook. Anyway, so I believe that eventually the truth will come out. Eventually means maybe this year. I think it will be this year. The truth will come out. So that I didn't say martial law like that. Well, maybe I did. But that is what I thought. And I believe that that was also what Trump was expecting. But the satanic forces gave an ultimatum that if you don't allow Biden to become inaugurated as president, then we will do this horrible thing. So they backed off. The military and Trump, they backed off, and they said, we'll have to wait for some time. So that's my understanding of what happened. But we will have to wait for some months maybe and see when things become clearer and the people of America understand the truth better. Because now in America, most people are, like everywhere, all over the world, they're fooled, they're deceived by the mass media. But as they more and more understand the truth, then this military move to enforce the true results of the election will happen, God willing. That's my understanding. That's how I answer your question. Okay. One or two more comments only I can read. Rihan Amanlola says, Sir, आपने कहा था कि इमरान खान और एक रूहानी आदमी है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान के हालात तो उसके खिलाफ जा रहे हैं. हाँ, लेकिन ये इसका मतलब नहीं है कि इमरान खान रूहानी आदमी नहीं है. वो रूहानी आदमी है, लेकिन रूहानी दुश्मन है. इसलिए ये जंग चल रहा है. Okay, and Saja Kashmiri says, Salam, sir, this is Maji's Sachi Kahani. Sir, good to see you again. I had a dream a few days ago, and in my dream I saw you and Bibi Carolina holding a baby, and at the same time, Udur ek nasheed bhi lagi hui. ये दूसरा दफा ऐसा देखा, पहले भी देखा था. ऐसा ही एक ऐसे ही कि आप दोनों बच्चों के साथ हैं और उनका ख्याल रख रहे हैं. अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा है. शायद ये बच्चा कौन है? पाकिस्तान. या ये बच्चा मोहब्बत है. एक मज़हब और दूसरे मज़हब के लोगों में मोहब्बत, ये हमारे बच्चे हैं. शायद मुझे मालूम नहीं आपका इस ख्वाब का मतलब क्या है, बल्कि. Okay. All right. Thank you all very much. And I'm going to go on to my YouTube channel now. That is www.youtube.com/C, the letter C, slash Allan.Keislar. No, Allan Keislar Real. Yes, Allan.Keislar.real. I think that's it. So if you go on my YouTube channel now, you can join my live chat there. Okay, thank you all very much. May God protect us all. And be happy, meditate on, work very intelligently and diligently for developing self-sufficient village communities. And that will be our success. That will be our happiness. That will be the place where we can come together in love and establish true, pure Islam, pure Sikhism, pure Christianity, pure Hinduism, pure Buddhism, pure Judaism. Pure religion means love, and that can happen in our self-sufficient communities. If we're too much influenced by the outside, and then there will be only disturbance and hatred generated. So let us come together, work on developing self-sufficient village communities where we grow our own food and where we can come together in love. That's what we're doing here in Esparto, inshallah. Okay, thank you very much. May God protect us all.